How you doing, everybody? Tim here once again, a view from the South Stands, coming to you the day after Toronto FC's home opener for the 2014 campaign, which of course saw our beloved Reds win 1-0 against DC United, another team like Toronto that's gone through a significant rebuild over the winter. And here we are, 2 games under the under our belts so far, 2 wins, and the superstar players are all coming through as advertised, whether it be Julio Cesar not putting a foot wrong, whether it be Michael Bradley being an absolute beast, and whether it be Jermaine Defoe essentially putting in almost everything he touches into the back of the net. The revamped Reds are certainly a little ahead of, I think, where they probably thought they were going to be at this point in the campaign. The most dispassionate sort of analysis of the schedule, and again, I'm not a dispassionate analyst. I'm not really an analyst. I'm just a fan with a blog, but who loves this team pretty much. But if you take a look at that schedule that the Reds were given for the 2014 campaign, boy oh boy, it wasn't easy. And looking at the first 6 games in particular, would have been really difficult for anybody to probably come back and say, the Reds are going to, run the table. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to be really, really excellent in those first 6 games. I thought maybe out of those 6, getting 2 wins would be, in total out of those 6 games, would be, a solid return. The teams that the Reds have yet to play, whether it be Salt Lake, whether it be Dallas, whether it be Columbus, whether it be Colorado, are all at or above TFC spots, a spot right now in the league. 3 of those teams, I think, have only conceded 1 goal in 3 games. We've got to go to RSL, I think, who was a point behind Toronto, if I'm not mistaken, and play at 6,000 foot altitude there, which is going to be very, very challenging for players that haven't played there before. And of course, we still have a very new team in Toronto FC as well. But boy, oh boy, as I said off the top, the big stars are certainly coming through as advertised. Jermaine Defoe, what can we say about him? He scored again. He had a couple of touches in the first half that didn't go in, but again, he was lively. He was quick. He was decisive. He doesn't mess around when he gets a chance. He actually, he pivots and shoots and hopefully scores. And of course, he cleaned up some of the garbage from Gilberto and Michael Bradley in the goal that he scored as well, that gave TFC the 3 points. Gilberto had his start, a first chance to really take a look at him in Toronto FC colors. Kid's really, really fast and really sharp as well. I really like what he does. He's very quick. He creates a lot of space for everybody around him because he's dragging defenders all around just based on his ball control and on his pace. Really liked what I saw from him yesterday. The goal that came, of course, came off a beautiful pass through from Michael Bradley to Gilberto, who had a really good shot on net. Bill Hamid, who's a really good MLS goalie, made a great save, gave up an unfortunate rebound for him. Not unfortunate for Jermaine Defoe, who slotted the ball calmly into the net, into the south end, and the celebrations began. Again, if you remember my video post last week, I talked about how the Jonathan Osorio pass to Jermaine Defoe on the first goal in Seattle was my personal highlight of the game last week in Seattle. My personal highlight of the game this week was the Michael Bradley pass into Gilberto. Really, really, really good. He's not just a defensive, leg-breaking midfielder, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a lot of offensive skills as well. He's arguably the most complete midfielder in the league. And he's with us. How amazing is that? A couple of other guys I think deserve mention as well yesterday are the defensive pairing of Stephen Caldwell and Daniil Henry. Daniil Henry in particular, 2 games, 20 years old, ladies and gentlemen. He's a kid still. He can't drink when he goes on the road. He can't go on the road and have a beer in the United States. That's how young he is. But yet he's got, caps for Canada. He left. I actually met him at the TFC Media Day a few weeks ago before they went off to Florida for training this year. And I remember talking to him when he went away last year. He was kind of like, he was kind of like this. He comes back from West Ham from training, and he's like this, this way. He's like a V now. He's gotten much bigger, much stronger. The technical side of the game is still something that I think he's got a lot of room to improve upon, but he's got every physical gift that you want a center back to have, and he hasn't put in a step. He has not put a step wrong in 2 games. Gilberto. Again, I mentioned him a moment ago. I'd like to go back to him again for a quick second. I think he's going to be, from what we saw, and again, based on his pedigree, I think he's going to be a real nice complementary striker and a guy who can lead the line himself as well, quite well this season. Again, he's a little different than Defoe. He's a little bigger than Defoe. He's arguably a little quicker than Defoe because, well, he's about 7 years younger than Defoe, and he's a little larger, so he's got a bit of a longer stride. But he's going to be, I think, a very impressive player to watch over the coming weeks and months. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring to the table. Now, one of the things that was brought to the table yesterday at the game was the atmosphere. I mentioned this in a post I wrote, which you can read down below, earlier this week, that I thought that the fan excitement would actually be back in spades this week. And I was absolutely right in saying that. You can probably hear the hoarseness of my voice. That's from the yelling and the chanting and a lot of the noise that we were making in the stands yesterday, which kind of harkened back to old times of 07 and 08 when, from a fan culture perspective, I think Toronto FC was in its heyday. That heyday is back. It is back. The excitement, the atmosphere in the stands, the camaraderie, the collegiality, the brotherhood and sisterhood, collectively that we all share as supporters of this team, was there in full abundance yesterday, and we rocked that place. That's now, I think, the stadium that we all wanted it to be. We wanted it to be, a tough place for teams to come and play. That's due to us, the fans, to a great degree. And of course, we also wanted to have a good team to cheer for, which actually creates that sort of snowballing, self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing, where we actually are able to suck balls into the net. And I think, to an extent, we did that yesterday. And I'm quite hopeful that there's going to be many more fun nights ahead and days ahead at BMO Field going forward. I want to keep this one short and sweet, because again, I don't think there's too much more to say or to criticize when it comes to how our Reds did yesterday. But I want to share one little observation with you as well that I thought was interesting. And again, it speaks to the renewed sense of fan engagement at BMO Field. Until maybe 2011, Toronto FC didn't need to bring in any anthem singers for the Canadian national anthem. But then all of a sudden we realized, hey, they've got anthem singers here. And the reason why that was is because there just wasn't any singing of any consequence in the stands for the national anthems. And all through 2012 and all through 2013, there was an anthem singer on the pitch before the game started, singing the American anthem and singing, of course, O Canada. Did you notice that person was conspicuous in their absence yesterday? I certainly did, and I actually tweeted it, and I got a lot of response on Twitter from it. I was like, TFC decided they didn't need an anthem singer today. Maybe they realized that, the fans are engaged again. The fans are going to be doing the singing themselves, and they don't need to be, patted on the back, or their hands don't need to be held, or they don't need to be encouraged to do what needs to be done. Put a good team on the field, and us supporters will do the right thing. And it was really encouraging to see yesterday that actually started in earnest. I'm going to have many more hoarse days, I think, this season. I'm going to have to maybe gargle with salt water or something, or take some throat spray with me, or I don't know, a bottle of Buckley's or something, I don't know, but or maybe a bottle of scotch. But anyway, I think there's going to be a lot more excitement in the stands going forward, and it was really, really excellent to see yesterday that the fans in attendance to a person brought it pretty hard, and that's what makes the games as much fun as they are. So onwards and upwards, we're ahead of schedule, I think it's fair to say. Tough game ahead. I've got no expectations going into Salt Lake City of getting a victory. But then again, I didn't have any expectations of getting a victory in Salt Lake. I just want the team to play a good road game. I want them to be compact. I want them to think about the counterattack. I want everybody to sort of stay behind the ball and be economical in their use of their own energy, because they're going to be playing at like 5,000-6,000 feet altitude. And that's going to be very, very challenging. It could be really cold there as well at this time of year. But hey, we're ahead of schedule right now. Let's see if we can get at least a point on the road this Saturday against Salt Lake City. I want to thank you very much for watching. I'm going to have a lot more in the space this week about Tim Lewicki, about the Argonauts, and about Toronto City Council. I think that there's still, maybe I'm a fool, I don't know, but I think there's still a way to prevent the Argos from coming to BMO Field and potentially ruining our soccer experience, and I'll have more about that in the coming days. Again, I want to thank you very much for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful week, and come on, you Reds. We'll see you next week after the Salt Lake game. Cheers.